no matter how long you live here, if you speak perfect Korean and you know everything about Korean culture, you're still not gonna be part of like 우리나라.
네, 안녕하세요. 오늘은 이제 드디어 미국에 대해서 알아보는 시간입니다.
Hi, my name is Hallie. I'm from the US. I'm from the southeastern part from Georgia, and I'm 25 years old. I work in Korea. I have an E6 visa, so I do mostly commercial work, and later I'll probably change jobs. But for now, I'm just enjoying Korea.
반갑습니다.
반가워.
네, 미국 어떤 나라죠?
Well, I think many of you already know a lot of things about the US. So I'll try to tell you some things that you might not already know. We have a really large population. I think it's the third largest population in the US. It's 328 million people. And there's 50 states. And we have a lot of other territories also, like Guam and Puerto Rico. All of these regions are really different from each other.
네, 그래요. 그러면 이제 음식.
음식. The same thing again, it's different in all the regions. We have our representative foods for each region. My personal favorite though that you can find all over the US is just chicken tenders. So in the South we call them chicken fingers. Number 2, I really like something called chicken and dumplings. So I think in the US what's really special is just that we have American versions of every food from around the world. But also we have like American versions of Italian food, Chinese food, Japanese food, like Mexican food.
다 섞여 있어요.
Yeah.
미국은 다인종 국가잖아요.
So I love those, and that's what I really miss.
제가 아직까지 미국은 안 가봤어요. 어디를 가야 좋을까요? 세계.
So I've actually been to almost all the states.
Good.
And I would recommend number 1, the Grand Canyon. No matter how many times you see pictures, it's better. No matter what, it's better in person. It's so amazing. And also I really liked when I visited Colorado, which has like the mountain views. When I went to Oregon, they have a really pretty coast. But every time I talk to Koreans, they only know California, New York, Texas. Try to branch out and go some other places too.
미국에서 한국에 대한 이미지는 어때요?
I met a lot of older Americans. Their image of Korea is from the Korean War time.
맞아.
So they think like Korea doesn't have cars or Korea doesn't have bathrooms like this. They just need to be educated more.
그러면은 BTS가 되게 유명하지 않아요? 미국에서 그래도?
So I think BTS is definitely popular in the US, but I think that Koreans kind of overestimate how popular BTS is. Because even for the number 1 singer in the US, even if it's not BTS, if it's Ariana Grande,
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, but there's plenty of people who don't know who Ariana Grande is. Older people or...
그럼 제일 유명한 사람 누구예요, 미국에서?
Donald Trump. Unfortunately.
아무튼 간에 그래도 이제 되게 자랑스럽게 생각을 하고 있어요. 빌보드라는 게 사실 모든 세계 사람들이 되게 갈망하는, 원하는 그런 시상식이잖아요. 근데 거기에 보통 이제 미국 사람이나 뭐 영국, 아니면 스페인, 뭐 이런 쪽의 사람들은 많이 있었어도 아시아 사람들이 거기에 이제 1위를 한다라는 거는 되게 it's not easy, right? 근데 그게 일어났으니까 사람들이 그래도 진짜 그렇게 생각하는 것 같아요. 그러면 미국이랑 한국이랑 다른 점과 같은 점은?
So I think one of the things that Americans and Koreans have in common is nationalism. Koreans are very proud to be Korean. Americans are very proud to be American. I'm proud to be American. It doesn't mean that I have to love everything about the US. There's many things I love about the US and many things I hate. Koreans are that way too. You know, there's like Chosun and all those kind of things. But Koreans are still proud to be Korean, I think. A really big difference to me is Americans are much more involved in other people's business. So in the US, if someone drops something or they fall down, other people around them will all try to help. But in Korea, they kind of leave them alone. But it's not just a bad thing, it's also can be a good thing. Because sometimes in the US, when we try to get involved, sometimes we make things worse.
할리가 여기서 한국에서 얼마나 많이 살았죠?
5 years.
5 years. 한국에 살면서 좋은 점과 안 좋은 점은?
I love how convenient Korea is. I can get anywhere I want. Especially because I'm from a small town in the US. I'm not from a big city. So in my town we have like one taxi.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, you know, if you want to drink or something, how can you go home? You have to spend a lot of money calling a taxi, or, you know, you just drink at home. Hopefully you don't drunk drive, but some people do.
In US?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
One thing I really don't like about living in Korea is that no matter how long you live here, if you speak perfect Korean and you know everything about Korean culture, you're still not going to be part of like 우리나라. Even those people, they speak Korean perfectly. And maybe they have a Korean wife and child and everything, but they are famous for being a foreigner. So that's something I think is really upsetting. I want to say more good things about living
괜찮아.
in Korea.
좋은 얘기예요. It's a good 의견이에요, 오피니언. 한국인은 진짜 그냥 단일 민족 국가라고 생각을 하기 때문에 뭐 외국인이 이제 한국인이랑 결혼을 했어도 한국 시민권을 가지고 있다고 하더라도 사람들은 다르니까 이제 뭐 금발이거나 눈이 다르거나 그러니까 이제 사람들은 이제 외국인이라고 그냥 생각을 하죠. 그거는 뭔 말인지는 알 것 같아요.
It doesn't mean like Koreans are not kind to foreigners or
그건
anything like
아니에요.
that.
그건 딱 심어져
They are,
있어서.
but it's just they will always be different. There's a lot of foreigners here that put in so much effort to be Korean. But no matter how hard they try, they will never be Korean. So
맞아요.
yeah.
그건 좀 있어요, 진짜. 저도 그런 것 같아요. 외국인이라는 거는 한국인의 입장에서는 시민권을 기준하는 게 아닌 것 같아요. 우리 모습이랑 딱 정해져 있고 그게 다르면 외국인. 근데 이제 요즘에는 국제 커플, 뭐 외국인들이랑 같이 남자든 여자든 결혼하고 이렇게 사는 사람들이 많아지고 있잖아요. 그러니까 앞으로는 조금씩 바뀌어질 수도 있을 것 같아요. 왜냐면 미국 같은 경우는 그런 게 거의 없잖아요, 그렇죠? 왜냐면 다인종 국가잖아요. 물론 인종차별 있죠. 그래도 아시아 사람이 와가지고 나 아메리칸이야. 그럼 그냥 아메리칸이잖아요.
네.
근데 이제 한국은 좀 그런 게 다르긴 하죠. 그래서 뭔 말인지는 알 것 같아요.
네. 알아요. It's about Korean police.
Police. 미국에 대해서 이렇게 알아봤는데 오늘 어땠나요? Not bad?
Better than I thought.
아무튼 네, 오늘 고맙고요. 바이. 네. 감사합니다. 둘, 셋. 오케이.